What is going on, guys? We are back for some more Pokemon TCG Pocket, and in today's episode, you guys, we are going to be learning how to play with Charizard EX. Now, the deck that I have for you today is a little bit more of a modern version of it. There's been some changes in the meta, which has kind of made Charizard probably the third meta deck that's kind of around right now. This video could have easily very been separated into two different ones, but I wanted to show you guys the newest innovation of what Charizard is rocking with. So, for the deck list today, we have two Charmander, two Charmeleon, and two Charizard EX. Crimson Storm is the single strongest move currently in the game. It requires four fire or two energy that are fire and to colorless energy. And basically, when you use this move, you have to remove two energy off of that Pokemon. The entire engine of this deck revolves around Moltres EX, that which for one energy, Moltres EX has the what is it called? Inferno something. And anyways, you flip heads, you flip three coins, and for every head, you get to put a fire energy onto one of your benched Pokemon. Now, this is probably one of the most consistent ways. Misty, for example, on the water decks, the moment you hit a Tails, you don't get any more energy. Where at least on Moltres, you have three coin flips, which pretty much means that there's like a 12% chance that you won't get anything, but there's a really good chance that you get at least one, at least two, and you're putting one energy onto Moltres. Moltres needs two to retreat, and then three to be able to attack. And so there's sort of kind of this thing where it's like one energy you start being able to set up, two energies you can switch out when you need to, and three energies you can now start attacking, and you can still help set up your team. So that is the core of the deck. Honestly, original Charizard decks when the game first dropped, the deck list ended there. You ran like maybe a Kangaskhan, maybe a something random, even an old Amber or one of the fossils, just as your fifth Pokemon. But recently, because Charizard has such a poor matchup against Pikachu, Arcanine is a different archetype that also used Moltres anyways, that happens to have a really good matchup against Pikachu, but a really poor matchup against Mewtwo. And Charizard had actually a pretty good matchup against Mewtwo, just because it could one shot it, and it couldn't get one shot back. And so this deck really is kind of the combination of two decks. It's still kind of early, but it did well in a couple tournaments recently, and so this is the current innovation of it. It still gives you five basic Pokemon. Growlithe is not so much the focal point of the deck, but it's kind of like your option against Pikachu kind of deal. So the biggest difference is that, like any two-stage deck, it's very reliant on drawing power and kind of what you can draw into. But the Growlithe line is sort of kind of a quick way to have quick strike offense and kind of, go back and forth with Starmie or something like that, right? One potion is just sort of kind of get you out of range of some things if you run into a situation. The X speeds are made to try to help Moltres be able to retreat faster, because this does run basically all of your final stage evolution lines are all EX Pokemon. And so in other games, we've talked about the fact that I don't like having a ton of EX Pokemon kicking around in your deck because you just make the games a two prize game. And so you need to play the X speeds. Honestly, even the Venusaur deck really does require it as well, that we talked about earlier. Pokeballs are to draw your basic Pokemon. The fact that we only have five, we have a pretty good chance of drawing what we need to. One red card is just for disruption, so that we can kind of get what we need, and kind of stop your opponent from being able to just have free reign on what they want to do. Again, it's more of a disruption piece. You can get Charizard set up. Two, Professor Research. Again, this is the pot of greed of Pokemon Pocket, and so pretty much standard in every single deck. Same thing with Pokeball. You're never not going to see two of each of those copies. The rest of these trainer cards are sort of kind of interchangeable based on the needs of the deck. And of course, one Sabrina. The meta really does dictate that only one Sabrina is needed. A lot of people are playing fossils and things like that to kind of counter Sabrina, and so just playing the Sabrina situationally when it makes sense for you is sort of kind of the best way to sort of kind of play this deck here. But this is the current iteration of it. Honestly, the Arcanine decks, if you're actually kind of splitting this video up into two almost, two Moltres, two Growlithe, two Arcanine, and then people were running the old Amber with a Aerodactyl is sort of kind of the main tech that we were kind of seeing. So that Aerodactyl could it doesn't do any damage, but you flip a head and or flip a coin, and if you get heads, you actually just put the Pokemon, the active Pokemon, in the player's deck again. So that was kind of a way just to stop the bigger decks from beating Arcanine, but a little inconsistent, a little bit kind of this is kind of a combination of two decks, and it's still a good deck. I just don't know that this deck can be consistent enough to beat other ones, but I want to get some gameplay of this so that you guys can see the deck as well. We're gonna maybe get 3-4 games into it and just see what we can do with this deck. So if you guys are enjoying the episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and let me know what your version of a Charizard deck or any other deck that you want to see. I mean, I have a few built that we're gonna go over the next little while, but I think Pikachu is going to be the next deck, and then after that I'm kind of going through the comment section to see what our next deck is going to be. So we can cook something up together, or we can just kind of use one of these and kind of get a sample of it. These are kind of what I've been testing and playing, not even all of them I like using, but you know, they're all here. So let's get right into the battle, and I've kind of gone over the basic strategy of the deck. Basically, it's basically set up Charizard, and then if you see a Pikachu deck, try to get that Arcanine online as quickly as possible. That's really kind of the way that this game is played. So, at least with Charizard and this particular build of Fire deck. So, looks like we're going first, which unfortunate. We do, however, get the best starter possible for what we have right now, though. Moltres is a great lead. I'm actually not even going to play anything because there's no point. So we get Lapras right away. This is potentially a problem if Misty is in their hand turn one. I am actually just going to red card right away because I just want this card advantage right now. If they Misty, I do unfortunately need to be playing this. So let's do this and just make it so they have no interest in wanting to red card me at all. And I get another Moltres here. So I think, honestly, this is probably just the play. So we just end our turn right here and have some fun with it. Depending on what this deck is. Pokeball? Okay. So Pokeball here, they're going to have a second one. They're not choosing to attack. We actually get Charmeleon right away, which is really big. We actually have a Charizard in hand, so I am going to just go for Inferno Dance and go for this three-headed coin flip. This is basically the whole way that the deck runs right now. 3 heads, 1 head, 2 heads. That actually is really huge early. We're going to stick them both on this Charmeleon, and that is our turn. Basically, next turn, we will just continue to put an energy onto Moltres. This will allow us to switch if we need to. Okay, what I'm actually going to do right away here is we are actually going to Sabrina right now because I don't want this Lapras just doing that much work right now. We are going to get this Charizard online as well. And then what we are going to... And our opponent concedes. So we had a really good start here. That's probably the best starting hand that we could have ever asked for. Very, very strong, very, very quickly. There was nothing that person could do. Like, we had a Charizard ready to go, and we would have knocked out everything early. Like, we didn't even need to go for Crimson Storm that first one to knock out that Starmie, so we were in a really good spot. So, next turn, we're going to say thank you again to Yorf, and let's just get to the next battle. So, that one went about as crystal clear, perfect as you can get. Moltres is the most consistent, I think, out of any of the decks. Moltres is so good. It's better than Zapdos. It's better than Articuno. I will die on that hill. Articuno EX is a little overrated. It does have a strategy where it can win on its own, but Okay, this is a really bad start. Charmander is not the start that you want at all. Okay. And then we have a Pikachu EX deck right away. So we need to draw this Growlithe and quickly. I basically there's nothing I can do here. This is a turn one that I need to just maintain card advantage. So we're gonna do that. And end the turn. So this puts us in equal footing at the very least. We traded a card to kind of keep the same amount of cards the whole game. But it didn't. It looks like it kind of backfired a little bit. This looks like it's going to be a Raichu build of it, and we are just not getting the cards that we need at all. So what I am going to do is we just lose like literally this turn. So I need to just do some kind of damage. There is nothing I can do here. If he gets one more basic Pokemon, he does 90 damage right now, and we never drew another Pokemon. So unfortunately, this is a good game right here without any bench Pokemon showing up. Actually pulls out Raichu, so I guess didn't have another basic Pokemon. It doesn't even matter. This is still a game. So yeah, unfortunately, that's unfortunately how some decks go when you have this kind of strategy. Unfortunately, the two-stage evolutions really, this was really a bad hand to get to, but there's nothing you can do about it. It just is what it is. But that's okay. Get in the next battle, and that one, we'll just call it a mulligan. We never got a card that we could use, and little tough, but it is what it is. Okay, so next up is Ivico. Ivico is her name, and we go first again. Little unfortunate, we get another Charmander lead. However, we do at least get a Charmeleon here this time. So there's at least that going for us. We have both Professor Oaks in our opening hand, so even if we have a slow start, we might be able to do something. This is an Articuno. Yikes. Okay, so we go first here. There's a red card right away. Unfortunately, the red card doesn't help us immediately. We're going to research. We technically have everything in our hand right away. The really unfortunate part, though, here is that our hand is not set up in a way that we have any kind of backup to this. If they have Misty, we're just in trouble. Yeah. If we have Misty, we're just in trouble. So let's do this. Let's also red card, because I don't want them doing that to me at all. If this is 18 trainer, though, it's a problem. But there's nothing I can do. Like, this is what we can do here. A very slow Charizard that can't really do anything. There is a Squirtle, so there's at least a Blastoise in this deck. And unfortunately, we never drew another basic Oh, we now draw. Okay. So we're going to get this online. We're going to get the Charizard. It's also a 2, so it doesn't really matter. We are going to Professor's Research. Okay. We are going to put the energy on this. We're going to X speed. We're going to X speed again. Because I don't want to lose that single energy that we have on it. And so that's a no retreat cost. It's a no retreat cost here. That I'm then going to have to grab a Pokeball just so I have a second Pokemon. We get Growlithe here. I am going to leave it, and then I'm going to Inferno Dance here. I need to try to get this Charizard online the best I can. 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads. Perfect. That is the best case scenario that we could have asked for. because that's gonna let us Crimson. It's gonna let us go for Crimson. So that actually gave us a fighting chance in this one. We had a really bad start. We got a really good hand really quickly. We need to do this before this Articuno becomes out of hand. Because 80... Oh, they're actually going to force it to be full. Okay, no, they didn't put the energy on Blastoise. Okay. So they're going to Blizzard here. It's going to do 10 damage to Charizard. It's going to do a lot to Moltres. But the whole thing here, though, is that we need to do this quickly. So I need the second energy onto Moltres. I need to hard switch into this. There's no energy anywhere else. So I Crimson here for sure. But let's get this Growlithe down. Let's heal up this Charizard because it's basically our saving grace here. And then let's Crimson Storm here. Get the 2 points that we need. And we'll figure it out the rest of the way. So our opponent can't do anything immediately. Nothing they have can do anything this turn without a Misty. Do they have it? They do have a Blastoise EX. This is 180. Okay. So without this, I'm actually going to force the switch here. It's not as good, but I can basically ensure that they can't do anything because Articuno's not going to get set up fast enough. And I'm going to set up this Fire Energy. I'm going to put this Arcanine online. And then we just go for Slash here. Do our 60 damage. And no matter what happens next turn, we pick up a KO on something. Okay. You're going to switch here? I think we have to try to put you in a position where we sack this. Sack the Moltres. And you're not going to attack. So you're going to sit here. I'm going to force the issue. We're going to Inferno Dance so that you can't just sit here and not try. Because I don't need to put the energy. If I get a single head here and I don't. Okay. So I don't get a single heads on that. That's really, really unfortunate. But I can force the retreat in like 2 turns. And yeah, you're trying to get Blastoise set up. Okay, so that doesn't matter. We just put the energy on this. Honestly, I think for us anyways, you don't have any energy. I can't get Revenge killed here, so I'm going to Inferno Dance just in case. I think this is the safer route to get what we need. And that's 2. Okay. I'm going to throw 1 on here and 1 on the Arcanine. Okay. And that gives us the best opportunity here. Our opponent concedes. Okay. So that was the best course of action. It looked like they were kind of struggling there. I don't know that they made the best play, but I think we handled that really, really good. And we got a really good outcome out of it. Once you get this Charizard going, it's such a threat, right? 200 damage beats anything in the game. And Moltres just sets things up so quickly. And that's why this deck is such a threat. That was a matchup that we had a type weakness in and still managed to pull ahead there. So really big win there. That was against the Blastoise deck, which we did do on the last episode. So if you actually want to see our version of the Blastoise deck, make sure to go check it out. I definitely, in the first minute of the video, I always kind of put a stamp to our other videos. Okay, Charmander here again. So another kind of sketchy start here. I'd love Moltres every single time if I could force it. I think there's actually a really fun deck It's not very good yet, but there's a really fun deck with like Brock that you can sort of kind of like guarantee an Onyx lead, which is kind of cool. And it looks like our opponent is maybe playing Mewtwo, but doesn't have a best start either. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna red card and keep our advantage here early. I'm gonna research. Okay, so that's probably as much as we can do this turn. It's not fantastic. We have another very slow Charmander start. But we do have the 1x speed, so as long as we could get one thing in here and switch and do something, like, again, this routes might switch. It is gonna just switch. But, okay. So our opponent's gonna take 2 turns here. Our opponent is gonna take 2 turns here. I'm actually gonna force... there's nothing you can do this turn, I guess. So I guess I just go Charmeleon. And I put the 1 energy on it. And there's nothing you can do at least this turn to me. Okay. Okay. So we need to Sabrina now because we need to do something to slow this down a little bit. So let's Sabrina here. It's a kind of a sucky situation, but I didn't get another basic Pokemon, so I don't really have a choice here. This is just what we need to do. If we can knock out this route, we also kind of slow down the Mewtwo, although I actually think I want to be keeping the route here. XP, okay. That's worst case scenario, unfortunately. They had the X speed. I do waste a card, but it was my only option to really... they're going to do 60 damage here now. I now need to top deck a Charizard just to be able to live next turn. And I don't do it. Okay, so because that's the case... I mean, there's nothing I can really do here. I'm going to save my potion. I'm just going to do some damage. No, I double X speed here and I force... I double X speed here and I force... I have to force the 0 retreat and force the 1 card here and then try to get a Charizard here. That's basically what I have to hope for. I have to top deck a Charizard now. Not great. Not great at all, but it is what it is. Because this Mewtwo is now completely set up and there was just nothing I could do. Okay. So, worst case scenario happens. We're going to lose to this Mewtwo deck probably, but the other option was that I just do the 60 damage and then I have 90 to take care of, but I have nothing here. This deck is not going to be fast enough no matter what I'm doing here at this point. I do have to give up a prize here though. So we are just going to do this and pass here. If you have a second Sabrina, you have a second Sabrina. Giovanni. Okay, so Giovanni so that he doesn't use up the energy. That's the smartest play possible. And then, yeah, this Mewtwo beats us next turn. So, but this is kind of what I was talking about forcing a 4-card game. They had to beat a Charmeleon. They had to beat a Charmander. And then I'm giving them the Moltres at the end, which is a little bit stronger Pokemon. You force it to at least be a 4-prize game versus a 3, sorry. I have no choice here. Like, there is no getting out of it, and I get the get it now. Okay, so there's no... Doesn't matter in the turn here. And then this is GG. This is a... What is it? What is it called? Side drive to the face here. Yeah, GG's. GG's Soar is the name? Well, So unfortunately, we were a little slow this one. We just didn't really get anything that really helped us. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Did we even draw? Did we draw our oaks, or did we just get nothing out of them? I totally don't even. That just a blank now. Just a blank now, but it's okay. Okay. So one more game here. We'll see how it goes. Again, I don't know if this is actually the best version of Charizard. I think this was the newest innovation, and I just wanted to, and I wanted to get a game in here with it. But I don't know, like, I don't know. I think with two-stage evolutions, I do think that because you're so dependent on, like, because this fire deck is so dependent on Moltres, I'm actually wondering if the best matchup possible is just rocking out with a, okay, this is a red card situation. Yes, red card situation. Okay. I think the best situation, honestly, is you get Moltres and you try to make it a 50-50 that you get Moltres. Meaning that you use the same thing as the Blastoise deck that we did, where you have the fossil in there. I think that's just the best way around it all. I'm gonna see what I can draw next turn, because I don't think they're gonna red card me with 3 cards. Okay. Pokeball. Yeah, this Pikachu deck is about to be running around here. They got set up so fast right after, even after a red card, like turn 1 red card where you should have an advantage. They now have more Pokemon on the field, same amount of cards in hand, and they have an energy and I don't. Like, it's so crazy how this deck works. Okay, so we need to research here. Get 2 cards. That's another Charmander. I'm gonna just get the card out of the deck and get that Moltres. And that way there, we're at least always drawing these now. I don't think it's gonna matter if I switch, so I'm just gonna put this on the field. And I'm gonna stick this Arcanine out. It does have 1 energy on it already. So I'm kind of forced to just slow play, build an Arcanine to do some damage. Even if I can get 1 KO on a Pikachu EX. Okay, so this is running pretty much standard on standard. So Pincurchin gives you a paralysis chance. The Pikachu EXs, you want both of them out. Because there's a ton. And then the Raichu is your last kind of option that's able to kind of just... What is my best play here? I don't think I have to kind of retreat just to give myself the extra time. Yeah. I have to retreat to give myself the extra time to build the Charizard. I basically need to also bank on 3 heads. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to give up Moltres, try to get a fast Charizard. And I don't think I get Charizard fast enough either, which is kind of unfortunate, but I at least live a hit. We Inferno Dance here. Okay, 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads. Incredible. So because that goes down, I don't have enough HP. I think I need to put it all into Charizard. Oops. Need to put it all into Charizard. So that gives us that, which at least gives us a Crimson Storm move. Or we just 1 turn. Can I take that much damage though? I don't think I can. I think I need to get potion to have a shot here. Okay, so yeah, so we go for, we unfortunately lose the Moltres. We force this game. Actually, base Arcanine could actually be the play here instead of 2 Arcanine EXs. Like a regular Arcanine, or even put like 1 regular Charizard. Just to do something. Because, like, how do you get out of this now? right? Like, I could Crimson Storm, lose 2 energy, and be too slow at the end. Or I take a ton of damage. I have to take 2 hits then. I think I need to just get the 2 points. But I think without drawing a potion here, I don't think I'm fast enough. Because it's going to do, what, 110? So it doesn't really matter. But at least we get 2 points out of this. We did something. I'm not going to retreat. I'm not going to concede to these games. I don't like conceding. I think it's kind of like, just play the game out. You know what I mean? Okay, 90 damage here. If we draw a potion. Nope, no potion. Okay, so no potion, so we do lose this game, but that is okay. We will slash here, do our chip. And there you go. The only thing... Oh, I guess Sabrina. I could have Sabrina'd, but we did not have... We didn't get Sabrina either. But a Sabrina would have not won us the game, but it at least would have made it close. But that is GG. Good game to our player here. I think it was a Chinese writing, was it? I need to see your name. Like, yeah, it was Chinese writing. Okay. So that is kind of the basics of the Charizard deck. Obviously, it still struggles against Pikachu decks, for sure. And you do kind of have to get your energy online, and everything kind of going your way. But I think, honestly, like, I think the meta is still trying to figure out whether Charizard is better on its own or better with Arcanine. Like, I think if you were going to switch things around here, like, if you're going to switch things around here, I think there's definitely a world where, like, you go to the edit screen here. We, let's search filter by fire types for sure. If you were going to do it, like, maybe there's a world where, like, you don't care about the mirror matchup and you go, let's just not give up prizes and use base Charizard. Like, maybe that's a better outcome, right? I think the ability to one-shot everything in the game is really appealing. And so maybe you decide, maybe I don't need Arcanine. Maybe I just need the regular Arcanine, right? Do something to take away some of it. This also does 20 damage to itself. Unfortunately, you don't have a high... You know what I mean? Like, Arcanine EX is kind of the same. Like, you get that extra HP, but you also do extra damage. But this also one-shots Pikachu. And so it's one of those awkward situations where it's like you're just not strong enough if you don't run the EXs. But then if you do, like, maybe you just don't care about the Charizard matchup. Like, maybe you just decide, like, Charizard EX is not the play. We go base Charizard out here. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe that's what you do. But, I mean, the other option, too, is that you just start running a Fossil, and then you don't have to worry about... Maybe you run a Fossil anyways, but... Or maybe, like, red card could go for a Giovanni. That gives you a little bit of extra damage. It lets you maybe use Arcanine or Charizard again. But yeah, that's sort of kind of the deck this week. A few options that you can do, right? Just trying to give some alternate options to it. But yeah, I think those are kind of like the mainstead options. I guess you could look at colorless too, though. In the colorless section, I think Kangaskhan, Tauros, Farfetch'd are all sort of kind of options. Meowth could be an option just to try to get cards really fast. Maybe you... But I think in every situation you want Moltres leading, right? So it's kind of awkward, right? Like, your last Pokemon is just sort of kind of just, what do I need, you know? Maybe you can even drop one Arcanine, just go with the 1/1, and then use a second Sabrina to be able to kind of stall a little bit more. There's a ton of options you could do, but yeah, that is this week's episode. So thanks everyone for watching. Click like if you liked the video, subscribe if you really liked it. Let me know what you would maybe change about this Charizard deck, or maybe just what your opinion of the Charizard deck in general. And I think we're going to do Pikachu next week, because that is kind of the last of the starter Pokemon that we haven't done yet. And then after that, I'll be taking your guys' comments in the section, your guys' suggestions from the comments as to what decks we should do next. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.